Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and the time has come. Time for Muramasa. Years of waiting, years of anticipation, of memes, of hopes, and it's finally here. So, this is the first time I'm going to start the game, so that's why you see my screen basically. And let's just dive into it, because I have no idea if something will happen if I open it or later on. So, I will just record this opening like just in case. So let's go and dive into it. Oh, yeah, that's that. Major content, functional, okay. I guess I'll have to do a lot of censoring. Who knows? Nitro Plus, hell yeah. Oh, we can. Oh my god. Also, I have no idea where to put my camera, so. Oh shit. It starts good. Let's see really quick the config. Should I do anything here? Display settings, yeah. I guess that's fine. Let's go! Full Metal Daemon Muramasa. Today's performance will consist of 4 acts. We begin with a duel. Oh. The stage, an open field at the edge of the tiny village. A company of soldiers stands in formation, rifles and swords glittering in the sunset. The burnished crimson glow makes their silence all the more threatening. At the front stand the dragoons, armored warriors, tall and terrible in full battle dress. Each is worth more in combat than the entire company behind them. Their commander stands forth to address the village. His voice is clear and powerful, his words heavy, with undistinguished arrogance.
この村が倉掛の反乱に組みした奸賊をかくまっているのは分かっている。おとなしく身柄を差し出せばよし。
It sounds like he's in some kind of like, even like robot or something, I don't know.
村ごと踏み潰すまで。
His words are directed at the trunk of villages that has formed a wall before their home. Not one fails to understand the threat, nor doubts its sincerity. Nevertheless, few succumb to fear. They are ruled first and foremost by anger. Jackals, ghouls. They have not the courage to shout these epithets at their targets. They must contain themselves instead of hushed whispers, sharing their hate with those beside them. Rokuhara. They speak the name like a curse. Rokuhara. The leader of this man repeats his demand. The villagers do not respond. Anger and hate still sizzle among them. The Rokuhara officer delivers a final ultimatum. Oh shit. I like the design of this. Holy shit. This is good. It's like some futuristic, some like samurai, and I don't know, like World War II, something like that. It's so mixed. God damn it, that's so good. The soldiers train their rifles upon the villagers. Now the villagers cease their muttering, yet not one comes forward to comply. Silent malice, met with silent defiance. The confrontation is at an impasse, with all parties tensed for the Rokuhara officer's command. I like how it's silent right now, no? Because it's kinda giving like more intense feeling to this, you know? Also, I heard like music in this game is freaking damn amazing. Before he can give the order to fire, however, something changes. The voices pick up again, louder than before, as the wall of villagers parts to reveal a new figure, striding to the floor. You mustn't! Go back! They will kill you! The villagers call for the man to stop. In answer, he says only,
世話になった。
The warrior strides towards the army. He too is clad in armor, the same as that worn by Rokuhara warriors, save in one respect. Their armor is as good as new, shining fresh from the polisher's stone. His, however, is beaten and worn, the damage enough to hinder its performance. It is difference, emblematic of his status as a remnant of a defeated rebellion. Oh, goddammit. The rebel warrior takes another step, but stops when a tiny hand seizes his steel fingers. He looks down to see a girl, perhaps 9 or 10 years old. She grips his hand with all her strength, refusing to let go. This is like some self-sacrifice, but he's not going to stop the massacre, I guess. Like, he's just one man. Without a word, he reaches out with his other hand and pats the girl's head, then gently frees himself from her grasp. Her eyes fill with tears, but the warrior does not look back, leaving her behind. They advance on the Rokuhara formation. Several dragoons draw their swords upon seeing this, eager to count the prize for themselves, but a gesture from their commander halts them. He alone strides forth to meet a fugitive warrior. Oh crap! They are actually in full armors. So the guy that we saw before was like just a simple high text. Like a simple soldier, and these are like commander basically status. Can I like oh wait, what? Affection matter? What? Let me oh actually okay, never mind. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. High text is here. This is looking good. The two men square off at the center of the
何
field.
のつもりだ、鷺沼。
Saginuma.
昔の上官に敬意を示しただけですよ。家計少佐。元少佐。
Hmm.
村を見逃すとの言に偽りはなかろうな。
あなたの身柄を差し出すなら村の罪は問わない。言った
Oh.
通りです。
Okay, right, because they came to search for the fugitive, for the traitor. That's right. So, he's the one. Yep. Makes sense.
ならばよい。で、貴様、よもや本気で俺とし合う気か。
How do they even, like, strike through these plates with the sword?
後ろの味方を頼んだ方が良いのではないか。
なぜそんな必要がありあなたは一騎打ちで敗北を知らないことが自慢でしたな。あいにくそのような名誉を抱えたまま地獄へ行かせてはやれません。ここへ置いて行っていただく。六原に背いた者の最後には一片の名誉とてふさわしくない。
Hmm.
おお。
So they're like
見
some
れ
kind
ば
of Imperials.
双葉係もかなわぬほど翼が傷んでおる様子。
見上げた大言相互だ鷺沼。あの青にさえが吹くようになったものよ。ありがたく地層に預かろうか。メイドの土産にその印。
もらうのはこちらだ家計。そのしわ首を魚にうまい酒を飲める今宵が今から楽しみでならぬ。
Each having spoken his piece, the Rokuhara officer and the fugitive swordsman Two men with a small history between them draw their swords and face off the last time. We can hear something in the background already. This is suspense. The soldiers and villagers alike hold their breath. Saginuma assumes the Seigan position, the point of his sword held at eye level, ready to claim his enemy's life with a single lightning thrust. Kake assumes the Raito position, swords held over his right shoulder, ready to cleave his foe in two with a single mighty strike. I love how this is getting kinda informational also, you know? Like you can learn stuff out of this. And their warriors remain motionless. Time rolls on, passing them by. Sweat drips from the villagers' clenched fists, and even most of the Rokuhura soldiers can only look on in amazement. A few among them, however, have grasped the meaning of the stillness. They tremble in anticipation of the exchange to come. The intent of both combatants is clear. Saginuma will thrust, aiming for the throat. Any slash from his current stance would require him first to pull back his sword, which would give the initiative to his enemy. The thrust is his only option. As strong as Dragoon armor is, there are weak points that one can exploit. These are the joints, whereby the warrior is able to move, and the most vulnerable of those is the throat. Hence this will be his target. Makes sense, so they are fighting like... yeah, basically like samurais and medieval knights. You had an armor and that can protect you, but it still have weak points. Like in medieval knights, like you have full plate armor, but you're still vulnerable to thrusts and stuff. Kake will slash down, aiming for the neck. This is another weak point in the armor. By tilting his sword slightly, as he strikes, he can slide his blade through the gap where the helmet meets shoulder, and cut diagonally into the chest cavity. As with his opponent, he too have the reposition of his weapon before choosing any other attack. Each has already chosen his strike, yet neither moves. Why? Because each warrior has prepared a counter, and know that his opponent has done the same. God damn it, this was like mind games already. If Saginuma thrusts first, Kake will turn his body to avoid the attack, then strike to claim victory before Saginuma can recover. If Kake slashes first, Saginuma will take one step back to escape, then rebound with his thrust and slay his enemy. This is intense! How are you going out from this situation? This is like top tier fighters basically. Each has a defense to go with his attack, the former no less deadly than the latter. Knowing that death awaits should they strike, the combatants have entered a stalemate. In such situations, the duel becomes a contest of endurance, physical and mental. Yeah, pretty much, because you don't want to like escape, you just wait for enemy to make his first move. If you're like weak mentally, then you just can't wait. Or if you like getting tired because armor is getting weight on you, you know? This is like... For this stalemate to continue, both Saginuma and Kake must hold their stances perfectly steady, while at the same time maintaining the intense focus needed to react to their enemy. This effort exacts a tremendous toll, like walking a tightrope across a chasm. Sooner or later, one will flutter, the other, if he still has the strength, will seize that chance and strike. This is very realistic. I like this so far. Saginuma, the Rokuhara commander, Kake, the rebel warrior. Who will flutter first remains to be seen. Oh. Yeah, I had a feeling like that. He's the old warrior, he's the older guy. He don't have that kind of endurance anymore, I guess. Yep. I guess the Imperium will win. Edge has begun to tell the tale. Yep. Saginoma is in his physical prime. Kake, however, is several years his senior, old enough to feel age creeping up to him. That difference is not great, but it is meaningful. And if this continues, Kake will eventually succumb to exhaustion and become fodder for Saginoma's blade. Should he wish to avoid that fate, he has no choice but to strike first and stake his remaining strength on the only hope of victory. It is a slim hope, however. Saginoma, who brilliantly chose to face this veteran swordsman alone, shows no sign of overconfidence. His senses are trained on his former superior, ready to react on the slightest motion. Thus, Kake's fate would appear to be sealed. Death if he strikes first, and death if he waits. That's terrible position to be in. To an observer, the two warriors might seem as statues beneath the surface. However, the scales of victory and defeat, glory and disgrace, are already tipping in one side's favor. Time flows on, carrying the silent battle to its end. Slowly but surely, the older warrior breathing grows labored, and the trembling of his knees become ever more pronounced. A number of soldiers smile to see the signs of the tilting balance. Fortunately, none of the villagers has noticed yet. Yeah, if they would notice, that would be a panic, probably. Also, I wonder why they like sheltering him. Did he like help them? Or he's like one of them basically? Or maybe he's like... He's probably some kind of like someone who started the rebellion and village is basically part of the rebellion. Might be that. So he's kind of like their leader. Still, a sense of doom seems to have reached them. "You can do it," one of them cries. Perhaps that cheer was what he needed. Kake strikes, lunging his body forward with a sharp exhalation. Saginoma responds without missing a beat. As calmly as strolling along on the beach, the battle is decided. Oh my god. Kake will die. No deity has intervened in Kake's favor. He is committed to his attack, and now all that remains is for the inevitable sequence of events to play out. Saginoma will dodge Kake's slash, and with the counter thrust, end the old warrior's life. There's no other way this can end. Unless, of course, one of the fundamental variables is not what it seems to be. Huh? What do you mean? For example, what if Kake only looks committed? Oh! He can just like jump forward and just stop before he slash, so he can like prepare to get the guard on. Might be that. That's smart. Oh, he changed the position. Rather the cliff there, before Saginoma's eyes, Kake's sword suddenly shifts direction and resets itself at his left side in preparation for rising blow. Feign a downward slash to force Saginoma to retreat, then take him with the real slash through the armpit or groin while he defends. Kake's plan is simple one. This is good, so it's like he's going for double slash. However, if this had been his intent from the beginning, a seasoned swordsman like Saginoma would have read it. It is effective precisely because it was spontaneous, born in flesh of desperate hunger. Kake needs to crush this enemy, though it will not change his ultimate fate. In a fraction of a second, the balance is shifted once again. And now, Kakai loses his true attack, slashing upward to cleave his enemy in two. The decisive strike. Yeah.
鷺沼
Well, he can still talk. He got him.
すでに先のない身だ。相打ちでよかろうに。無用の欲をかき合って。
Oh. Blood spurts from the old warrior's mouth, seeping through the cracks in his armor. The villagers cry out in dismay. Kakai never completed his slash. Before his sword could reach his target, Saginuma thrust had pierced his throat. Wow, he didn't even attempt to dodge him. He just went for kill before he got slashed. Wow.
俺は相打ちでも良いと腹を据えていたぞ。
That's dedication.
だから貴様が何をしようと構わなかった。貴様が動いたとき、喉笛を射抜いてやることだけ考えていた。
So he was prepared for any situation basically, no matter what you do.
貴様は違ったな。メイドの土産に勝ちを欲しがって小細工を浪したために惨めな最後を迎えることになったわ。死ぬがいい。六原に立てつく武人も貴様で最後よ。大将領足利森氏公のもと大和の部の一党はなる。
Yamato, Shogun, Ashikaga Moruichi.
大義は成就するのだ。
ほざけ
What you gonna do then?
まだ岡部団長殿がおられるのにもまだあまたの獅子がおる。
The only Okaba I know is Rintaro.
貴様らに映画の時は訪れまいぞ。
岡部ごとき寿命を待つ老輩に過ぎん。姿勢に隠れ潜んで陰口を叩くだけの輩など。
Well, he can still spark the rebellion.
かけ。貴様は奴らが来る時のためせいぜい地獄を清めておくがいい。
Ooh! Yeah, that silenced him. With that, Saginuma draws his wakizashi and strikes the head of his defended foe. That's the end of Kakei. Kakei's torso falls away, landing with a dull thud. The villagers have no words to express their horror. They can only stare at the corpse of the man who for a short time had been their friend. I wonder... I have a feeling like they will not keep the promise and they will just annihilate the whole village. I have a feeling like that. Because, that only makes sense, because if they try to help him and he was their friend, then there will be some of them that would like to revenge, basically. So, how do you prevent that? Well, you annihilate the village. On the other side of the field, however, excitement and we are spreading through the ranks. One of the armored warriors steps forward and, bowing deeply, takes the severed head from his triumphant commander.
お見事でござった。
何、他愛もない仕業よ。
して、鷺沼殿、 村はいかがいたそう。
I have a bad feeling.
宣告言った。家計を差し出せば村は咎めぬと。
The problem is they didn't hand it him. He came out of himself, right?
あの村は家計を差し出したか？
How did I knew that?
いや、差し出しはいたしますなんだな。
で
わお
仕方あるまい。反逆の目は狩らねばならぬ。
御意。
The dragon signals to the rear of the army. A soldier lifts a horn to his lips and blows. The rousing note echoes across the field, and the soldiers raise their voices in answer. As one, they ready their rifles and advance. Here, at the last, the villagers regain their senses and are overwhelmed by terror. They know what is about to happen. They know what their fate is to be. These expectations are not betrayed. And so the play enters its second act. The tragedy of this little village. Wow. To the heavily armed soldiers, this is not a battle so much as a hunt. And an easy one to that. These prey are far less agile than the beasts of the wood, and in their terror have taken leave on their reason. The villagers flee in panicked disarray. Soldiers take aim at their backs and fire. One man goes down with a bullet in his spine, vomiting blood and tears as he convulses in the dirt. As villagers kneel and beg for mercy, soldiers lay into them with their swords. One old woman clutches her coven head, screaming as brains scatter like pulp from his shattered melon. The soldiers kill, the villagers die. These roles are fixed, with no hope of reversal. This is no battle. Perhaps it is not even a hunt after all. At length, however, a handful of villagers find the strength to fight amid despair. Knives, scythes, axes, arming themselves with whatever they can find in their attics and sheds. They hide in shadows and wait for careless soldier to pass, then fall upon them from the rear. An old hunter, with his trusty rifle, proves particularly deadly, moving skillfully from cover to cover while sniping soldiers at every opportunity. God damn! So they are not lost cause. With each soldier who goes down beneath his crosshair, the woodsman sinks deeper into a mad ecstasy. I kill you all, he thinks, enraptured. I will pay you back for what you've done. Alas, his vengeance is not to be. A terrible demon, for whom the hunter is but an insect, has set its sights upon him. The old sharpshooter's skill at concealment is the product of a lifetime experience. From the ground, but he's all but invisible. Holy shit, that was fast! So that's Sayonama, right? Wait, he have wings? Holy fuck, these armors have wings! I thought like he jumped or something, but they can fly! What? They have gun. I didn't saw this before. They have gun like attached to his arm. Whoa, okay. From the air, however, his position is clear. To a warrior born aloft, on wings of steel, the hunter is not a force of nature to be feared, but a mouse, caught in an inescapable trap. Seeing the chaos the hunter is sowing, one dragon dives straight for his head. Some sixth sense leaves the hunter's gaze. There, plummeting from the sky, is a giant of steel. It is the last thing he will ever see. That sounds like something crushed. The dragon drew and split the man from crown to groin and demolishes the shack he was using as a cover. Okay, yeah. I guess the armor is heavy as hell. I wonder how heavy are these armor, because they still have to move in these, right? Unless they have like some kind of like electronics and like hydraulic stuff that basically works like a mechs, you know? Or an exhaust suit. When the dust clears, only a deep crevice in the hard earth remains. Such strength is beyond any man. But these flying warriors are not merely men. The power granted to them by their armor has made them akin to gods. Until this moment, they have only been observing from above. Now, spurred by their comrades' actions, the circling dragoons descend one after another, bringing with them such violence as to make all that is gone before seem a gentle spring breeze. He's destroying everything. With each roar of the dragon's sword, brave villagers die by the dozen. Bodies fill the streets, mangled beyond recognition. So it's not like only officer armor, I think, because it's also kinda like a soldier. It's dragoon, but still, it's less than officer, right?
若い女、それと子供は捕らえて足の剣を切っておけ。いい売り物になる。
Okay.
一人たりとも逃すな。こやつらに許す運命は霊族か死か。それが六原に弓引いた者の末路だ。
Damn. A storm has come to swallow the village. A whirlwind of fire and steel. With infantry at their heels, the dragoons move from house to house, street to street, killing or capturing whoever they please. The villagers are powerless against them. One villager raised a rifle to his shoulder whenever he found it in some hunter's chest, or in corpse of soldier is unclear. Either way, it's a splendid weapon. The sword that can put a bullet through a man's eye at the 100 meters. The farmer is no marksman, but as luck would have it, all of his shots are on target. One deadly bullet for each of 4 dragoons. It is a miracle, albeit meaningless. The first dragoon dodged his bullet with the smallest tilt of his head. Yeah, this armor is pretty freaking hard. The second swats from his from the air with his sword. Okay, that's some insane reaction time. The third catches the bullet in his metal fist. Are we going to Matrix now? The fourth does nothing at all. With a dual thwack, the bullet bounces off his armored hide. They have insane perception, basically, of everything. Like, each one of them saw the trajectory of the bullet and behaved accordingly, you know? Like, the last one knew that he's safe and he just didn't move. This is crazy. I wonder if it's just like their abilities, or it's something that's, I don't know, maybe they're like superhumans or something, I don't know. I wonder. All four responses are equally detached, as though the bullets were but gnats or flies. And indeed, they might as well be, for all the threat they pose. The man's will to live perhaps deserves praise, though his next actions are hardly sane. Throwing down the useless rifle, he races to the truck, parked nearby, the only such vehicle in the village, leaps into the driver's seat and stomps on the acceleration, as though to drive his foot through the floor. Perhaps he believes that the truck, whose engine remains silent, will explode into motion, even stretching the tires and carry him far, far away from these devils. Perhaps he even believes that he will rescue his friends from the massacre. Whatever the case, he has at last spread the knowledge of his failure. Yeah, they can fly. In a split second, a dragon takes position overhead and strikes. The winged swordsman weapon may be more primitive than farmer rifle, but is also far more effective. The blade plows through everything in his path, metal truck and fleshy human alike. The villager had no time to feel pain. He must have been born under a good star indeed. For surely a quick end is better than dying, or perhaps even living in agony. These are all dilemmas. They're messing up with our heads. But in a situation like this, I guess he was lucky. I don't think they can survive anyway. Like, it was his choice. Like, die quick, die slowly, or become slave to the rest of your life and have even worse things to happen to you, probably. The hands of his face, split neatly down the middle, express no dissatisfaction with this end. A far cry from the willing of his fellows, being rounded up and hamstrung even now. One villager takes off running, knocking down friends and family in his desperate attempt to escape. There's no malice in this, only fear. Pushing through the house, he makes for an open road. If he keeps running, he'll reach the neighboring village. There he will surely be safe. Yeah. Don't look back, he tells himself. Keep running. And before you know it, this will all be over. It takes 30 seconds for him to realize that safety will never be his. For those brief moments of blissful ignorance, he runs out, unable to grasp that he is not moving an inch. Wow. One of them is like holding him. At last, it dawns on him. One of the armored warriors has taken him by the collar and lifted him off the ground. His feet have been pumping air all this time. Wow, can you imagine how terrifying you must be? To think that you're actually running when you are like in the air? Just imagine that. I think I'm unable to, but god damn it. He's going to throw him back to the village or something? Oh. Yeah. The dragon throws him into a pile of captured villagers, where a soldier seizes him and slices his ankle just enough to keep him from running again. Wow. They are savages and really smart at the same time. Like, this is top-notch work, to be honest. Oh shit! Yeah, you cannot fight this. Yep. Nope. One by one, villagers are rounded up and reduced to worms. Now and then, a lucky one meets a human ant, if such thing exists. Let's hide it for a moment. Yeah, this is terrifying. Imagine something like that showing up in your city. Damn! Death or capture are the only fates available to them. Just as the Rokuhara commander decreed, and even this choice is not theirs to make. Whenever they run or fight, or haggle in fear, in the end, their desires are inconsequential. Only the will of the armored has any authority here. They basically like just throwing dice and it's your fate. Absolute tyranny rules the village. Why? Mutters the girl, who once held the doomed warrior hand, now lying, ankles slashed, atop the pile of the damned. Fuck, they... Wow. Until yesterday, life was quite in routine. Her father, a lumberjack, would go out every morning and come back at the sunset with bundles of wood. She would play with her friends or help her mother attend to their daily chores. Every day was peaceful, the same as the last. And now it's all ruined, shattered to pieces without warning. Why? Why did this man destroy the village? The schoolmaster said that bad deeds are punished. If you hurt someone, then you too will suffer. They hurt someone? The little girl asked herself. Did her mother or father? Yeah, being a child in this situation, like... Oh my god, this is hard. I don't know. This is terrible. What about the other villagers who died? Or those lying nearby, ankles slashed like hers? Were they wrong to take in that man Kake? To give him food and a place to sleep? But he was nice. The others all said that they had never known a more honorable warrior. Was it that? Was it something else? And if the villagers are being punished for some crime, then what will happen to those who did this? Probably nothing. Unfortunately. Will the soldiers meet the same fate one day? They have to. Otherwise, the rules don't make sense. But who? The soldiers are so strong, they wiped out this village in the blink of an eye. Who will do the same to them? Probably no one. Who can punish these titans of steel? Can anyone? If not, then the cycle ends here. The villagers alone will suffer, never knowing what it was they did wrong. The demons who forced this suffering upon them will never have an answer for it. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right, cries the girls, who cannot stand. Her voice lost amid gunfire and screams. Someone, anyone, I won't ask you to help, just please. Please, don't let it end with us. I have chills. I don't know how... What about you? I have literal chills right now. Punish them too. Make them pay for the crimes. Let them suffer just as we have. The girls prays. She prays with the sorrow of one who had lost everything, and the anger of one who cannot fathom why. Please, she begs. This is wrong, make it right. No. This is not wrong. What? It is. If you do something bad, you get punished. That's how the world works. No. Then tell me. Tell me the truth. Throw off your grief. Throw off your anger. But I can't. Grief and anger are all I have. You need no grief. You need no anger. You need no hate or malice. I do. You do not. Why not? The girl hears a verse. And then she realizes that she's been talking to someone all along. The other voice is laughing. Its laughter is gentle, affectionate, as it recites a lullaby. Grieve not, Rage not, hate not, it says. All are meaningless. Life has no need of such things. The girl hears a verse. Laugh, sing, clap your hands. Dance and dance with joy in your hearts. This is some twisted lullaby to have like in this kind of situation, to be honest. Fuck. Literally whole village is getting killed, captured, enslaved. You get slashed ankles and someone tells you to, hey, just smile, sing, dance. Yeah, that's fun. Shit. Throw out the foolish trapping of humanity. Live for the sake of life itself. Maybe she's not talking to anyone. Probably she's not. Maybe she get insane from all of this. Maybe she's just like talking to herself in her head. Do this, and all shall be revelry. Sorry, can't read that. Sadness will not longer have a place in your heart. You cannot? Nonsense. Anyone can. You have merely forgotten. Remember, your purpose is joy. What? The girl hears a verse. And then she knows that she was mistaken all along. Yes, I see it now. The verse is a song of life. I was worried about right and wrong, but that's not what life is about. It teaches her the truth. Where there is life, there's no sin to be punished. Life should just be pure and true to its desires. That's kinda true, I guess. Of course, we still need some limits, but yeah. The girl joins her voice to the song. She sings of life and joy. Ah, if only we would lived free from the beginning. If only we'd known that life itself is a joy. Let us live pure and true, like the beasts we are. What? I think the girl just broke. I think her mental state is not right. They're basically denying everyone. If you say just kill me, then they would say nope, you will be a slave. And if you say I wanna live, then they will nope, you're gonna die. It's time to pause that eternal question. To be or not to be, we ask. So let's begin this comedy on the stage where mad laughter does ring. Okay. I was thinking that it might go off by itself, but it's not. Okay. What is this music? That's so good. It's building up such a suspension. What is going on? Thunder howls as the royal dog sinks his teeth into the thief's soft flesh. In her warm nest, the chicks call for her mother, closed eyes blind to the slithering snake. On the wide savannah, the lion stalks his prey. Golden man, puffed up with pride. The stream burbles softly, as frolicking children crush the frog's eggs beneath their bare feet. You, who preach life's sacred meaning, hit the jester's hurtful flies. You who fear death, cold embrace, know that his mask is but a mirror pointed black. Question life's purpose, and the jester and the deaf shall lift a spoon. Embrace life pleasures, and the jester and deaf shall doff their crowns. Run and dance, beast of plain. Laugh and sing, and feast and fight. For now all chains and cages have crumbled to dust beneath your feet. Is this what they hear in their heads? Is this what the girl's singing? Are the villagers having the same headache, basically? Yeah, I think the villagers have the same song or whatever it is in their heads.
なんだこいつら様子が妙だぞ恐怖のあまり気が触れたかいや兵どもの様子もおかしいどうしたんだ急に
The man revered of God's messenger forsaken his faith, vomiting blood. The man hailed as the world conqueror, facing his guest, and drowns will stop his horse. The princess chooses love over country, and is led to the guillotine amid the stench of a fall. The orphan seeks sustenance in the blood of worms, and rots from within until no flesh remains. These are all freaking damn horrible fates here. Listen, all who live, and I will sing your praises. Offer forth the malice, consoled by weary smiles. Listen, all who live, and I will pray for your souls. Rest upon the joy, which hatred and prejudice have birthed. A life of 100 years will hear the serenade of fire and steel. A life of 7 days will glimmer bright in the silence and dark. Run and dance, beasts of the plain, laugh and sing, and feast and fight, for now all chains and cages have crumbled to dust beneath your feet. This is pretty freaking intense. How do you like it so far? The tragedy ends, and we come to the third act. It is a sort of comedy, and at the same time, pure horror. I think I will make this episode extra long and go with all 4 acts. We had at the beginning, right? It contains 4 acts. Oh, they're shooting themselves. Soldiers. Also, what is that? That looks stupid, kinda. Like, what? Why you have that on your head? That, what? What the hell was that? Wow, they're like zombies, holy shit. Also, it seems like the ones without armor are more affected than the ones in the armors. Yeah, Armored had like just the voices in heads, but this just went mad. Oh! I didn't realize that. Fuck. Oh, they have new weapon. Let me see that. God damn it, it looks like... Wow. It looks like it could like pierce a tank. It's like a sniper rifle. No, wait. What is that? Why you have it on your head? Like, this is stupid. It's bugging me. Like, what? Game, please explain this to me.
状況の解明は後でいい。は了解。何を解き狂ったのか知らんが関係ねえ。どのみち俺たちが負けるわけ。
Did they brought explosives?
誰がやった？どこから？こいつらか。
I guess your own troops. They have explosives probably.
そんなバカな。どうやって？金色。須田。金か。今の金色。
Okay then. What is that armor? Tsurugi is sword, right? In Japanese. Sword or armor? I think sword. Or blade, to be honest. Like Kinseigo.
こいつが金星号か。
What is that thing? Question life purpose, and the jester and death shall lift a spoon. Embrace life pleasures, and the jester and death shall doff their crowns. Run and dance. Beats of the plain, laugh and sing, and feast and fight. For now all the chains and cages have crumbled to dust beneath your feet. Can you just hide text? God damn it. Angel of Slaughter. What? It looks cool. It looks cool. It doesn't have that stupid thing on his head that is connected to something. It looks cool. Look at this. It have like little like wings or something. I don't know. What is this material even? Destroyer of Worlds. Wow, these are titles. Ring of Death. Silver Star. It's time to scorn that eternal question. To be or not to be, we laugh. So let's begin this comedy divine. On the stage where Lamentations the ring. To ring. Yeah. Well, you can fly, right? Actually, maybe they can just like fly, like, you know, how do you call this? Basically, you jump and you cannot hover, you just fly downwards, you know? And he's actually like flying.
隊長殿、采配をかかれ。ひるむなバケ。奴がいかに豪気を持ってなろうと所詮は一気かかれ。奴の首を上げれば対抗ぞ。
I don't think you can take this thing out. Damn. It's fast as hell. I don't think you will be able to hit it with guns. I don't know why, but I have a little bit feeling of Marvel of Alternative out of this, you know? This is great! Do you have vibes of Marvel of Alternative from this? Let me know in the comment. If you feel something out of Alternative. Or do you think of some other series, if you see this?
榊逃げろ
Oh my god. Yeah, it feels like Mavlov. Really. I have in my head that one scene, I don't want to spoiler, but I have in my head one scene.
榊おいほうけてるバカ前
Okay, let's see this from this side. This looks good. It looks good. It's loud.
己やってくれたな俺の太陽貴様
I think I will die too. He's doing his best.
まるで通じぬだと俺の剣が技が何なのだ
Yeah, my question exactly.
戸村にとは歌声で狂わせ我々は片手であしらい貴様は一体何なのだ
Demon of Silver. Is this Muramasa? Is this the main thing that we have from the title? Because it's full Metal Daemon Muramasa, right? Damn! Holy fuck, oh my god. I love this background. Listen, all who live, and I will sing your praises. Offer forth the malice concealed by very smiles. Listen, all who live, and I will pray for your souls. Rest upon the joy, which hatred and prejudice has birthed. A life of 100 years will hear the serenade of fire and steel. Life of 7 days will glimmer bright in the silence and dark. Run and dance, beasts of plain, laugh and sing, and the feast and fight. For now, and all chains and cages have crumbled to dust beneath your feet. Dust beneath your feet. That's very suiting. He's like in the air, and below him is basically chaos and burning village. Oh wow, we have full animation. What the hell is that? Excuse me? That's a badass. Holy shit. Oh, he's backing up. He's backing what? Wow, something on like equal power came up. Yes, the two stars spiral into the heavens, meeting and parting and meeting again. The Crimson Star is a savage wolf, ravenous and frenzied. The Silver Star is a mountain doe, graceful and serene. His terrible roars shake the firmament, while her laughter rings out like the music of the spheres. I have kind of vibes like the silver one, you know, the white one is actually bad one, and the red one is good one. I don't know why. I mean, I think I know why, because Silver One basically made everyone to go crazy and kill each other. There's no way that he's a good guy. It's like messing up with our minds, because usually white means good and like red or black means evil, like yin yang. And this is like total opposites. That's what I get out of this for now. Each time the Crimson Warrior strikes, swords howling in sadness and pain. The Silver Warrior brushes it aside with a soft touch of a mother cuddling her babe. What the hell? Like, their emotions and behaviors are totally different from their actions. At least what we see in the Silver One. Wow. Rage, grief, guilt and sorrow. Meet with joy, compassion, acceptance and ecstasy. The fourth act. Is this another duel? Too close tonight as it began. No, this is not a duel. It's a mating ritual. A courtship dance. The elegant princess deflecting the advances of her boorish suitor. The silver flits among the clouds, climbing higher into the night, and the crimson race after. The moon shines before them, growing larger with each passing moment. But only one is worthy of entrance into the coldly glittering halls of heaven. The other is turned away, harshly, at the door. This brutish ways, drained by the moon and its servants. And so, the silver fairy soars even higher, while the crimson ogre falls away, called back, perhaps to the hellfire that spawned him. At the summit of heaven, the silver star blazes, with the moon, a shining throne on her back. She gazes down at the Avenger, still struggling to reach her. She smiles softly beneath her mask, then speaks a single verse.
Falling down, ladybug.
Wow. So it's she. I love her voice. Okay, how do I... Can I like go... Okay, I can.
Falling down, ladybug.
I know what these buttons do. I will save just in case, you know? It was just a quick save. Just in case if I click something weird. Damn! So that was the name of technique, I guess. She went with the kick or something. Oh my god. So this one is he, probably. Yep. What is this novel? Holy shit, what is this story? I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Are you on board with me? Let me know in the comment. What? She took his sword. What? What? Hikaru. So she have like two names? Or Hikaru is her true name? That was a prologue. We did it. Full Metal Daemon Muramasa. He never wished for destruction. He is not so childish as that. It was simply the only option left to him. What he truly desired was eternity. Alas, eternity was ever out of reach. If all that he loves is doomed to ruin, then all it alas be by his own hand. That is his only wish now. Perhaps he is a child after all. Oh my god, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect out of this novel later on. I don't know. It's one of these when it's hard to stop, you know? And I don't know if I should continue or not. Maybe I will continue. Let's see and try go to like another 20 minutes or so and see if we can reach something that we can actually end the episode on. Or actually, you know what? Yeah, okay, I will continue because, yeah, let's find better way to end. I remember the clear blue sky. We gazed up at the day in the park. That day. What the hell was that? I remember the cool spring breeze that carried out the herds away. I ran and ran, chasing the wind, hoping that it will lead me to you. I see you smiling by the fountain, your arms spread wide to take me in. We joined our hands and held each other tight as we danced upon the green grass. I remember clearly the day, the sky beneath which swore eternity. What is going on? I will never forget the blue of the sky, the time I spent with you. I'll never forget the sound of the wind, the dream we shared together. So this is the backstory of Ginso? Right, that's what her name was? Basically, yeah. Ginseigo and the other one. Yeah. I'll never forget the blue of the sky, the time I spent with you. I'll never forget the sound of the wind, the dream we shared together. Chapter 1. The Crimson. And I think that would be a good way to end the episode. This is not a story of heroes. Yeah. We'll continue this chapter in the next episode. Let me know in the comments what you think about the story. Are you hooked? Do you see any similarities to other series you know, maybe? I got a little bit vibes of Marvel of Alternative, to be honest, in that last fight. And yeah, I'm really hyped for this series. I've been hyped for the series for many years now. I've been looking for like if they're going to translate it ever, because there were apparently problems with translating this thing. And I was hyped of this on my first ever anime convention I was in, when I've learned about Sayanouta and Move Love, basically. Like, these were the first novels I've read ever. And Muramasa also was described there. So I got like basic premise of this. And yeah, it was told that it's probably never going to be translated. And like many other people, I hoped that one day it might be translated and I can read this. And it's finally here. So yeah, I hope you liked the episode, and I will see you in the next one. So thank you for being with me, thank you for leaving your comments down below, thank you for putting up like or dislike if you didn't like the video, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. So for now, Pocket Watch is going out.